Hello dear viewers and welcome back to Techno Talks. Tonight we're here with DJ Psiho. Hi Psiho, long time no see.
Long, really long.
Yes. Psiho, so tell us who you are, where do you come from?
So, who I am? I'm a DJ, I'm a producer, and I'm coming from Slovenia. I'm been DJing from around 95, and yeah, I'm producing from 2000.
So let's just go to the beginnings, to the pure beginnings. 95, oh my god, the height of the rave scene in Europe.
Yeah.
How was it?
Yeah, and it was actually quite crazy times. It was like a lot of underground parties. Music was still really here in Slovenia, of course. It was actually coming out, you know, not many people were around. I think there was around, I don't know, maybe 500 ravers in all Slovenia. We all know each other. It was more the community than you know. After that, around 2000, already we had bigger parties, bigger audience. Yeah, and now I think with this Corona, we are going back into 90's actually, like with this private party stuff. Mm-hmm.
So how did you start? Okay, you said 95, but how did it happen?
Yeah, actually, I started to listen to electronic music really early because I have some friend who was radio amateur, and he was like catching few stations from UK, something like that, and he was recording us cassettes from there, and then he gave us these cassettes, and this is how I actually get involved with this music. That was actually my first music that I get involved in those times. They were mostly, you know, rock and roll. There was no acid house, like you couldn't hear of it anywhere, you know, and that was something special. And yeah, I really followed it. And then with the time, you know, of course, slowly it came here in Slovenia. Then I was, of course, like one of first ravers. I was going to parties, and then I, you know, decided maybe I can do something like that also, you know. And then I started. I bought myself a pair of turntables, and I started, you know, learning, you know, just to watch other DJs play, you know, and from that on, you know, that was the beginnings, yeah. And then of course there was no much DJs around. And of course, it is easy to start playing where, you know, there was no DJs actually, and it was that was the start. And the biggest start actually started when I gave one cassette to a guy from Ambasada Gavioli. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they hear the tape, and yeah, they took me there, and I was actually resident there for 2 years, and it was really crazy.
That's where many of us know you from. For the first time, I met you in Ambasada Gavioli too for the first time. I think it was back in the late 90's. And I know the scene was quite evolved at the time. By the late 90's, early 2000s, there was a lot going on in Slovenia especially. You said now we're back to this time. How could you describe that transition?
Yeah, so not really 2000s, but I would say more before 95, when the parties were mostly, you know, in the basements, you know, in some bunkers and stuff like that. So now, because everything was forbidden, you know, people start to making parties, more underground stuff, hidden stuff, and this is what, you know, actually I was playing now for, you know, through the Corona more than I was playing, you know, last 10 years actually. But small parties, you know, crowd around 100, 200 people, and this is what's really look like in, I would say, 95. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Psiho, what inspires you?
for living or
In all ways, for living and for music.
so yeah, living is quite interesting game, you know. If you understand how you know energies flows, you know, and if you follow the you know the manuscript of life, then it's quite easy and quite nice, you know. You can be happy. So that means that you have actually to listen what life is saying to you, you know. So when you are doing some stupid things, you will, you know, always suffer because of that, or if you do something bad. Also, if you do something good, you know, it will always do life something good. Not in the same situation, in some other situations. So if you are just open your eyes and listen, you know, and listen to yourself, what is in you. So yeah, I lost maybe inspiration with DJing and also with producing, especially because it didn't went the way I wanted. But it was just because I didn't listen. I didn't listen to what I want, what you know, what life have for me, you know. Like if I just give, for example, now I almost stopped my career 3-4 years ago. I said, okay, it's enough, you know, because it was, you know, we were playing just, you know, mostly, you know, we went from DJs who were living from out of DJing to actually back to, you know, bedroom DJs, you know, especially with digital era where anybody can be DJ, a producer, everything. So your knowledge, everything you learn, it doesn't matter anymore, you know, because my grandma can be a DJ, you know, with the equipment we have. So this is really hard when you really have knowledge and you really know how to DJ from records and you know how it is, you know, then of course it's like that you really know how to drum or to play guitar, and then, you know, some software comes when you don't need to play guitar anymore, you know, you just, I don't know, press some buttons and it plays for itself actually. So you have to deal with it, you know. And then of course, because I'm 90's kid, you know, I never had a phone, take selfies, stuff like that, being on social media. So I never had a real manager or management who were selling me stuff like that. So I had to do everything by myself. So it was really hard, you know, because I want to focus on the things that I want to do. But actually then I find out that maybe this is not for me, because it just started to go away from me, you know, the gap from where I was, it was bigger and bigger and bigger. And then in the end I said, okay, this is not for me, I guess. You know, I guess, you know, life has something else for me. And of course I found the other side of life, because I was always involved in other things in life, not just with the music, but also, you know, with a lot of other things I did in my life. So it wasn't just this, you know, just focus to this, because I knew if this doesn't go, or if in some point just, you know, doesn't happen, or it happens like it happened now with COVID, you know, then what you do? If you do 20 years just music, what can you do else? And in the moment I said, okay, it's enough. I wanted to stop career, you know, just I didn't have a feeling for that. And then I met another person who helped me, you know, with production. I was really into it. I saw, okay, this is opportunity, you know. We made a lot of tracks, and then, you know, everything just disappeared like in one night, bam. And again I said, no, enough, you know. And last year I had a gig in you know, in Pag, in Zrče, in a big club, and it was really good gig after, I don't know, 2 months maybe even, you know, and it was really good gig, good crowd, everything. And I said, okay, now I can finish my career, because, you know, it was, for me, it was again highlight. I had a really good set, and I said, okay, now I can finish. And I said, this is my retirement. And I came back, you know, after 2 months, I came back into Slovenia, and I was here, and people started calling me, hey, would you like to play? Would you like to play? And I said, no, I'm retired. Because I really had the feeling that, no, this is not for me anymore. And yeah, I guess life had this for me because people were really calling me and offering me money and stuff like that. And of course, because, I still think that, I really play music with my heart for people, not for money, but really to make people happy, not just with the music. But I think this is my thing in my life, that I try to make people happy, and yeah, of course, then I restarted again.
So I was just thinking, you're saying you were getting retired, but now we see all this beautiful gear here.
I want to say, and this is another project, I almost finished everything. I said, okay, I will just DJ and I won't produce anymore. I didn't produce for one year. Then another thing happened, on the party. I was playing, and the guy, my friend, with him, we have this studio. He came to me, and he asked me, he told me, oh, you're awesome, teach me, And of course, for me was that like, okay, let's try, And yeah, now we are here buying equipment, and he said he wants to hear my music on the vinyl. So yeah, now we will really put the music back on the vinyl, like let's get back on plastic. So this is what drives me again, So I have a feeling, that if things are happening, you want to go out of it, but things are happening, and now to get back with this equipment, with all analog, modular, and to go on vinyl, this is what I was always wanted to do.
Yeah, because being all analog and all vinyl is becoming rare nowadays.
Yeah, really rare. Yeah, that's why.
And maybe that's even a competitive advantage in today's world, in a way.
Yeah, for me, digital really killed me. It's like video killed a radio star,
But many of us know your label Anunnaki. It's been around for decades.
20 years, more 25.
More than 20 years, yes. So can you tell us more about your label and why Anunnaki? Why the name?
So yeah, that was my first book that I actually really read. I had an instructor for mathematics. I was really bad in school, especially with this stuff that you have to really remember exact, So my mom gave me like instructor, and he really saw me as I was really hyperactive guy. So he didn't saw me like a problem, but he saw me just that I need something more. And he gave me the book of Erich von Daniken. I don't know, it's in English, but in Slovenian it's Spomini na prihodnost. I don't know.
Memories of the future.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So it's, how the memories of the future, that was the interesting thing, So I started to read that book, and, there the guy explained, that the pyramids were built from Anunnakis, the gods who came from the sky, and actually they made us just digging a gold, to dig a gold for them. And so they genetically modified us, and they made actually a slave race, and we are the slave race actually. And yeah, and for me it was with the stuff that he put inside, and it was more plausible than what they were teaching us in the school. Mm-hmm. And especially when I came to the school and asked about this, and teacher said, no, this is wrong, this book is right. And I said, how can you say this is wrong, this is right? How do you know? Yeah, because this is a system. And then I realized, okay, we are learning by the system. It was so many times that I find out that actually...
So basically it kind of symbolizes the creativity going beyond the boundaries.
So when it was when we started the label, I was really I was believing in Anunnakis, and I said, why not Anunnaki Records? And yeah, it was good name. I think still have power, especially now when everybody knows about Anunnaki.
All right, so I see you've been producing lately.
Yeah.
What's coming out? When is it coming out? What's new and exciting?
Yeah, so now actually, you have to understand that I started this after a few years, and there always like 10 or more years there was computer, which was the main thing in studio. Of course, some of this equipment I already had, but it was the style of music was really actually digital, and now we are just putting together what gear we actually need to have a really good sound. And of course, I'm already making some stuff because I still can, I was doing all analog, like producing for 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
And for me, it's really, really coming back to basics. Like I had a feeling that computer actually killed my motivation and inspiration. With the mouse in the studio sitting, because here we are always standing, it's more guys, they're coming here, we are playing in that studio, we have DJ equipment, and it's always like more people involved, and then it's more fun. Especially it's fun, like DJing is fun, the producing should be fun also. And it became so much isolated, doing everything, like you have to do it, and now it's just let's do it, let's do a project for fun, and yeah, I just want to see our records be played, and this is it, yeah.
All right. So you played many gigs all over the place. We saw you in so many places, and are there some moments that stood out from other moments, like some more memorable things from your DJ career?
I'm not sure. There was so many, but probably
even crazy moments,
Yeah, I know, but probably for me, Ambassador Gavioli was one of the biggest things. And what I find out, some places have like spirit. Ambassador Gavioli had it. It was, so much energy and work put into making it. And it wasn't just made, for what I say, for money, and it was made like a monument, And because of that place have a spirit. I can say that there are maybe 2 or 3 places when I can say that, yeah, you become possessed. It's like starring, Stars always say when they star some and they have some
role.
Yeah, some role, that they are like possessed. So they can actually play the role so good, and you can see, when some really good actor really plays a role as he's into that role. So I found out that when I play in these kind of places, then I also became a medium. It's like actually I'm not playing, but it's all the music that I have, especially from vinyls. Because I think also the vinyl and the needle have, because it's energy,
Yeah.
some piece of
It's
gold.
kinetic.
Yeah,
It's actually kinetic.
It's actually, and of course we are all energy beings, so everything is just energy, and when you put this in context, yeah, then I believe that I actually become possessed on the party with some spirit, which I don't know, makes with me that everybody can dance and have really a good feeling, because some parties really stand out, and you don't know what is different. You have the same music, the mixes, how to mix, but what is coming out of the speaker and of the crowd is unbelievable. It's unexplainable, and sometimes I really have a feeling that I play as a medium, and in Ambassador Gavioli that's 100%. It's like, for 5 records, in advance what you will put, and you put it, and then you listen to your recordings. Usually I don't want to listen to my recordings because they are not good, because on the parties you're quick, you don't hear all mistakes. But when you listen, to some recordings from Ambassador Gavioli, you just say, what? Is that possible, And yeah, so I think those moments really stood out, always.
So it's not just pure production, industrial production, and pure entertainment. It has some kind of transcendence to it.
Yeah, for sure,
As a
for
music.
sure.
And that's a memory that stays with you, right? You go home and for the whole week, you feel good about yourself and about everything, and you're like, why? And
I especially feel good about the people feeling good.
Now, if you look at the other side, on the other hand, we're talking about what makes you feel good, what makes people feel good, and is there anything that annoys you as a DJ, as a performer on stage?
So yeah, back in the days, I could get quite nervous, especially when people were, going over the fences and touch the gear. Now, not anymore. And I think because it doesn't bother me anymore, those people are gone. Because you attract. You attract what you are.
What you think about,
yeah. So when I'm nervous about something, it happens. Yeah, but when I just let it go, it doesn't matter even if you touch it, whatever. But back in the days, I was so focused. For me, it had to be perfect. I have a gig in Ambasada Gavioli. Of course, when the guy comes there, so close, and you're playing from records, and you ask him, just watch out, and he just grabbed, for the needle. Of course, you hit him. I was like that. Now I wouldn't do that, of course, but I was young, I was crazy, and that was also experience, and of course, this is it. And now I don't get annoyed anymore. Almost, I don't get annoyed, but maybe I get still nervous when I go to play, but good nervousness. Of course, I have trema, so
stage fright.
Yeah. So
how do you get over it? How do you get over the stage fright?
I just mostly it's like, this is good. Then you're thinking, what's gonna performance look like, how you will start, what's gonna be first track on the second fret, what's gonna be the mix and stuff like that. You always think about it. If you don't think about it, then you just become too floppy, too sloppy. But when you're thinking, especially when I'm thinking about if there's a good DJ, especially if there's a good young DJ, of course, then I think more, okay. If it's playing before me, of course, I will always try to, do something more or give, something more special, If you are before somebody who's gonna be, like a main
act,
yeah, of course, you don't give everything out of you because you want the other DJ to be the main artist, of course, but you get nervous, of course, because you're thinking about that, and this is just a good thing.
All right, so Psiho, thank you very much. Any last words for our viewers at Techno Talks?
Have fun, dance, that's it.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, and thank you for watching Techno Talks tonight with Psiho.